Is that grunt for effect?
What's happening? All right.
Oh,
Sponsored by McDonald's today, rather than Baines.
and the gym's had a makeover as well.
How long's it been?
6 weeks, maybe more.
Can't have been 6 weeks. When did we do it?
The week before the week before my stag, was it not?
No, we did the one in here at the kitchen, which was the announcement. It was anyway, it's a while ago.
It's a while ago.
Welcome back to Building MHEC. Oh, hi Lola. Welcome back to Building MHEC. This is our weekly turned monthly vlog to bring you up to speed on all the things that we are doing at MHEC Limited to build ourselves into the biggest and the best health education provider in the country. And as you can see, because there's been a little bit of a delay since the last time we've done this, we've been working on quite a lot of exciting things behind the scenes, which we're going to talk about today. But yeah, it's been a busy few weeks or so.
Yeah, it's just crazy. Like, I think the industry always feels quiet during the summer, but I don't know what's happened the last 6-7 weeks or something. It's just been crazy with one thing after another, firefighting over here, doing some really cool stuff over there. So it's been a lot. There's a lot to cover, and yeah, it's good to actually get back and recording some of this stuff.
Yeah, feel like we're getting to a point now where things are starting to seem a little bit fun again, because when we first started, everything was so excited. You know, we blew up. In particular, it was the award. It was the award in mental health and exercise coaching that was starting to get a lot of notoriety, and that was a really exciting launch. You know, it's this world's first award, and me and Ben are travelling the country delivering these courses in person. There was such a buzz around it. It was just such an exciting time. We'd got this huge office in Stirling, which we absolutely loved, and I can just remember times where me and Ben were just in the office all day, and I had this stress ball which I used as a football, and we'd be standing for an hours on end as I was just kicking this stress ball against the whiteboard as we were strategizing and coming up with plans, and Lola was there making a noise. And it was just such a fun period. It was one of those typical start-up, boom, exciting, fun periods that you hear a lot of businesses going through. And then things suddenly got very, very serious, and I got very, very stressed. The office stopped being as fun, it stopped being a laugh, and it turned into every single day you're fighting fires, like Ben said. You're having to do certain bits of work there and then that day, or otherwise the business isn't going to survive. And it's been like that for a couple of years now. But what seems to have happened recently is, although there's still very stressful things that we deal with every single day, Lola, you're going to be quiet. I think just bring it up. We'll bring it up. We're going to bring the dog up.
She doesn't want to be brought up.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Come on. Come on. Up you get. Up you get. Good girl.
Sure he's after.
Good girl. Although there's still stressful things that happened every single day, I think like what I didn't realise about being a business owner, I thought it was all about, you know, fun, games, celebrating the successes. I don't think I quite realised that so much of mine and Ben's jobs is just solving problems. It's literally something happens, you deal with it. And I spent, I would say, the best part of 3 years trying to avoid those problems, rather than learning how to deal with those problems. Because I was trying to avoid stress, run away from stress, do everything I could to stop these stressful things happening, which from a preemptive kind of manner makes logical sense. But they're always going to show up. So then what happened was, although I had developed resilience to these over the years and I had developed skills to be able to manage them, I think probably my management skills got delayed by a couple of years because I was too busy trying to avoid stress as opposed to learning how to manage it, learning how to manage people, learning how to lead, learning what to do in certain situations that you need to deal with staff or, you know, problems arising with the company. But luckily that's where Ben came in, because he'd done a lot of that stuff in the past. So not only did Ben have to manage the company, he had to then manage me as well.
Which one was harder? Do you choose?
But the point of all that is I feel like we've now turned a corner where, although we're dealing with shit, basically, genuinely, like every single day, I feel like we're starting to get a little bit more fun back into things. And I think we've started to do it because we've started to prioritise a lot more of time with me and Ben focusing on the bigger picture and let's focus on the fun stuff and let's, you know, actually not think about this problem that needs to be dealt with right now. Let's think about our marketing. Let's think about our strategy. So that's been fun. But yeah, one of the main things that we've been working on, if I really want to go back in time for years, but in particular the last few weeks, is a really exciting new product that we have created that can be accessed by the general public, but most importantly, now our award in mental health and exercise coaches, our MHEC coaches, can now offer this to their clients. So before I tell you that, we'll give you a little bit of history. Can you remember one of the first things that you said when you were joining the company? I had a program called the Body and Mind program. What were your thoughts of that on that program, and where did you envisage that going? Because this is going to link into this new program that we've got.
Yeah, I think initially, obviously, hearing about it and the results that Dan was getting and seeing some of the transformations that some of the clients that Dan had been working with over that period of time were just incredible, and obviously nothing like I had seen before. Certainly as a newcomer into the fitness industry, because I was used to seeing everything else that you see in the fitness industry focused on, you know, before and after pictures and focused on people dropping dress sizes and all the rest of it, without actually seeing something like Dan had produced, where it was like completely different to what everyone else was sharing online, showing before and afters of people without sharing pictures of clients stood in their pants, their underwear, or whatever it may be. So to see that was like, wow, like this is class. This is why it works. And obviously that's how you then came to creating the award, because other personal trainers and coaches wanted to learn how to achieve the same results, same transformations, and have that same impact and effect on the clients that they were working with as well. So I think then, from my point of view, the business head kind of kicked into gear and thinking, right, well, how can we use this as a vehicle to help more people outside of Stirling? Because again, at the time, it was only out of Dan's gym and the local communities surrounding the gym that were benefiting from this. So my kind of vision longer term was how do we get this out to the masses? How can we train up these MHEC coaches to then potentially deliver the Body and Mind program as it was then, or a version of that, or an amended, updated, enhanced, improved version of that? What would that look like? And I think that's kind of brought us up to where we are now.
Yeah, I was dead opposed to it to begin with, because the Body and Mind program it was called, I decided halfway through lockdown to create a mental health and exercise program that did not use before and after pictures. That was kind of like the tagline. It was a program to feel good as opposed to look good. Now, I got all excited about what I was going to put in this program. Right? There was going to be video educational resources from me. There was going to be live educational events. Rather than me doing, you know, I'll be honest, you know, tedious one-to-one repetitive check-ins, I was going to do a group check-in with everyone together, so it's collaborative, and there was a great support network for everyone. There was mindset exercises that I would give them every single week to, you know, it's informal therapy, so they can, you know, improve their mental health. And there were so many then additional bits of educational resources that I gave them, which were essentially an accumulation of conversations that I'd had with clients that I knew that had worked over the course of the past 10 years. Every single thing that I'd taught a client that had edged them closer to success, I wanted to put in this program. And I thought, right, I'm going to create it. I was so excited about it, the ADHD kicked in, and I launched it before it had even been created. Next thing I know, I've got 30 odd people who've paid me a lot of money to work with me for 90 days, and a program didn't exist. Now, in his head, that is absolute madness. In my head, I'm like, right, let's get to work. So every single week I would create one of these educational resources, create one of these mindset exercises, and teaching people all about how you can use exercise to improve their mental health. And as I was going, I was then doing so much research into the links between exercise and mental health. And essentially what I was then forced to do, because I didn't know how I was going to measure this, all I knew was that I wasn't going to use before and after pictures. So I thought, how on earth am I going to measure this program? So what I started to do was listen to my clients. What were the things that they were telling me that they'd improved on week in week? If we weren't going to talk about the body image, what were we talking about? And all of a sudden we started to talk about these new exciting things, these previous things that weren't tangible before. You know, these things, these kind of things that you couldn't measure, that were just in the ethos, that were that weren't in the, that was in the ether, that was kind of this, you know, airy fairy concepts like self-worth and confidence and happiness and resilience. And these were the things that my clients were telling me they were improving. So all of a sudden I said, right, well, these are the things that we need to measure. So essentially I created a way for us to measure clients' happiness, confidence, optimism, you know, relationship with themselves, relationship with food from before they started, and then measure it at the end of the 90 days. Then I was able to create a way in which we were able to measure percentage improvement. And then all of a sudden I've got people coming and working with me for 12 weeks saying, oh my God, my strength has improved by 40%, my optimism has improved by 60%, my happiness has improved by 80%. Then I started to show these things online, and then there was an influx of more people wanting to work with me, and that's when the fitness industry took notice as well, because they said, oh, I want to do what he does, how do we do that? So fast forward a few years, and that original program is no longer called the Body and Mind program. It's called the MHEC program. And we have now, it took me 18 months to write. We have now been offering it to our personal clientele through the gym for, well, yeah, almost 2 years. And we've also now allowed some of our mental health and exercise coaches to offer it now for pretty much the last year as well. The really exciting new thing that we're doing is now all of our mental health and exercise coaches are going to get the opportunity to do it. And it's becoming digitalized. So essentially my job over the course of the coming weeks and months is to create this digitalized version. And essentially what happens, if you're a member of the general public and you want to improve your mental health, you come to us or you go to one of our mental health and exercise coaches and you get a crash course in your mental health that you can work through on your phone. You can literally download it as an app. You can listen to things. You can watch it as a video. You'll get put through a mindset exercise with me. I'm going to teach you all about these different things, such as your quality of sleep, your relationship with food, your relationship with your body image, anxiety, stress, whatever it may be. And you work through that week on week. If you are a PT, you can come and do our awarded mental health and exercise coaching, and now you can access that to your clients. This has taken years to produce. You can get one and it works, and you can literally have that for your clients. Besides the obvious reason for digitalizing it, which is so to stop printing out hundreds of sheets of paper because they used to get in a folder, what were some of the main reasons that you wanted to digitalize it as well when you're looking at like the bigger picture of one kind of like the how it makes business sense, but also how it makes more business sense to the coach and kind of the wider kind of MHEC mission picture?
Yeah, I think the main point, I guess, is accessibility, because like Dan said, the current version prior to digitalization of this program is worksheets that are printed out either by myself or Fiona, who then go to the post office and ship them out to wherever the coach is in the UK. Which has been fine. Like it served its purpose till now, and it's given us some really good insight and data around how people engage with it, how people use it, and proving the concept that it works, not just in our gym, but around the UK for the coaches that have been using the MHEC program as well. So that way of working has served its purpose. But from a scalability point of view, if we then have even 10 more coaches with 10 more clients, that's 10 more sets of folders times 10. So 100 folders that I would need to sit and print out and post everywhere, which happy to do. I quite enjoy printing things out, but it's probably not the best for the environment, and it'll take a lot of time to do as well. So from a scalability and accessibility point of view, it's much easier for us to spend the time that we would take printing and sorting and posting to actually building the digital version, putting everything in there, so that in the future we don't need to continue printing and shipping things out. So it'll just make it easier for the coach to access, easier for the coach's clients to access, easier for our own members of the gym to access as well. So all in all, it's a really kind of exciting evolution of something that had started even before the award was a thing, and even before I guess MHEC Limited was a thing as well.
Yeah, and I know it may seem like such an obvious thing, like why are you like slaving away at printers, like posting things out? But the reason being is that since day one, we always had some sort of folders or textbooks or something for the clientele to work through it. And once they're writing, you know, at the end of 12 weeks, my confidence has improved by 80%, and they've got this folder. There was a real thing of kind of sense of pride, and it was really nice for them to have that kind of real life hard copy, almost like diary of their success. So that's why we took so long to change it, just because we were really happy with that and how it worked. But because it's grown arms and legs now, and also because we are in the digital era, it makes sense to do it all digitalized. And the thing is as well is that it's going to be a lot more interactive now. It's going to be a lot more interactive. So many more people are going to access it, like Ben said. So that's one thing that we've been working on. Be really keen to tell you some of the other really cool things that have been going on behind the scenes that a lot of you may not know about. Before I do that, I'm going to check how long's left on this, because I didn't realised I'm not timing this.
I was literally thinking the exact same thing.
How long have we been on for? Oh, mate, we're bang on halfway, you know.
Are we?
Yeah.
There we go.
We're absolutely bang. Right, we've got another 15 minutes.
Well, I set a timer.
Yeah, set a time for 14 minutes. So, after filming a podcast for a couple of years, we just don't care anymore. Like, we don't, like, it used to be such a big deal of film, and then we just, fuck it, nobody cares. You don't care. You don't care. Like, we'll just be doing this chilled. So, one of the things that I feel are some of the most exciting things about MHEC that we don't get to share a lot. No, that's the side. It's not that we don't get to share a lot. It's just because it's still very much in the investigative, explorative phase with some of these things. Because there hasn't been, I would suggest, a huge amount of visible success or impact on the company. It's just some things that we haven't really shared online or on our websites. But this is something that has literally been trickling away behind the scenes since day one. And for me personally, this is where I feel some of our most rewarding and fulfilling work comes from. And it's when MHEC transcends the gym floor and goes into our communities. So we've got an incredible staff member called Fee. And Fee was one of the very first coaches to sign up on the award. Fee blew us away in that first year of working with us, so much so that we offered her a job. Fee's job is now to help with the running of the MHEC program that we've just told you when it comes to looking after the clients, product development, helping with the licensing model for our coaches. One of the other things that Fee does, this is really where she stands out, is her work on partnerships. We joke that Fee just knows everyone.
Yes, she does.
She literally knows everyone. There was a time I had a coach reaching out, asking whether she could get job centre funding, and I messaged Fee and she was like, oh, I know someone in the job centre, I'll just go ask. She knows everyone. But it's not just that, she puts herself out there and she has conversations. And Sophie is one of the best people to be able to push our mission forward when it comes to partnerships and amazing work we're doing in the community. So I only found this out the other day. Do you want to say what Fee did with regards to the drug and alcohol centre?
So it's like an addictions programme centre based in Stirling. I think they've got a base in Alloa as well. Fee had been in the area in Stirling, who came down from St Andrews to meet with a couple other prospective organisations that are exploring a partnership with us. And just in the off chance, I think in between meetings, Fee had like half an hour and thought, I'll just rock up to this place, knock on the door and see if anyone's there. Walked in, and the way that I imagine it in my head is like, you know, when you see in a Western like film, somebody walks into the saloon and everyone just turns around and looks to see who the newcomers walk through the door. That's how I've envisaged this happening in my head. However, it's not a saloon in the Wild West, it's an addiction centre in Stirling. So Fee's walked through the door and all the staff are in there, all the team members are there, just turn around and
Music stops.
Music stops. Somebody drops a glass. And Fee kind of rocks up and does exactly what Fee's great at, just puts herself out there, introduces herself, who she's representing, being MHEC, and just saying, hey, this is who I am, this is who we are, this is what we do, this is how we help people. Would you guys be interested in having a chat about potential future partnership, link-up opportunities that we could explore? And I think, I'm not sure who it was, turned down and said, oh, Were they in the middle of a team meeting or were they about
I
to have
think
a
they were
team
about
meeting?
to start a team meeting. Either's funny.
Either way,
Either way, it's funny.
there was a team meeting either about to happen or she walked into the middle. I think it's funnier if she walks into the middle of a team meeting and
Yeah,
they were
that's
like,
funny. Yeah.
yeah, well, why don't we sit down just now? So Fee completely put on the spot, wasn't expecting to really give that much of a pitch or a presentation, didn't have a deck, didn't have anything like that at all. Then just went in and was able to describe what we're all about, and it went down brilliantly. Fee's been asked to come back and present to the Alloa Centre as well around how we might be able to work together in the future.
Yeah, and I think that's also just a really important message on confidence and just putting yourself out there. Like, literally just fucking rocked up in the middle of the team meeting and just went into a pitch for them. Like, that's the way you do it. So none of this, like, oh, I never got a response via email, or I don't know if they will reject me and not reply. Like, you don't know unless you try. You absolutely don't know unless you try. And Fee tries. So that's some of the amazing stuff that she's been doing behind the scenes. So yeah, looking into drug and alcohol addiction and recovery and how MHEC can play a part in that. The reason that we can is because a lot of these centres or rehabilitation clinics, they haven't really incorporated exercise yet, so they maybe don't know how. That's where we come in. Had some really exciting stuff bubbling under the surface for a while when it comes to prisons, some of the work we're doing in prisons. We've already had members of staff going into Bar Linney Prison, doing some work on behalf of MHEC and getting some unbelievable results when it comes to working with the prisoners in there and giving them an outlet to be able to talk about their thoughts, feelings and emotions during exercise, as opposed to their non-conversation with someone who works there, or their maybe too regimented mental health conversation with a psychiatrist. So that stuff's been going on behind the scenes as well. Got some really exciting stuff that's going on in schools, corporate wellness, and people are wanting to put on retreats. You had a chat with one of our coaches, Susie, about something amazing that she's doing. So I'll let you share. But this is some of the work that then we'll be doing with our coaches again, who are PTs, but their work's transcending the gym floor. It's really cool.
Yeah, so Susie and her client and friend are putting on a retreat in Italy, a really nice villa, and part of it is around obviously exercise and movement. There's an element of cooking there as well, because I believe our friend's a chef. And one of the elements that Susie will be doing is delivering a talk around mental health and exercise, introducing some concepts to the people that are going along to the retreat that she'd learnt alongside the award, like the 7 pillars of exercise, the 7 pillars of health, and the byproducts of exercise. So it's really nice to see the stuff that we've supported and educated our coaches on, taking on board, absorbing, and then going, this is great, I'm going to go and educate my clients on this. And to hear that that's been done at a retreat next month is pretty cool.
Yeah, the byproducts of exercise that Ben mentioned there is these metrics and these scales that we use. So, God, I mean, I never thought that, 4 years ago during lockdown when that program was created, that we would have trained someone up in that who's now going to teach it in Italy, which is nice. And the reason I'm vocalising that out loud is because I need to sometimes sit and remember what we've done, because I'm so fucking obsessive about what's to come next. So yeah, that's some of like the cool kind of things that go on behind the scenes. So a couple of additional things that we're doing as MHEC Limited as a company that Fee's really kind of leading the way on at the moment. Skills Development Scotland is a big one. We have an MHEC coach called Stefan. Shout out to Stefan, he's an absolute legend, who's MHEC through and through. Stefan got a trial on the Body and Mind programme 4 years ago. He won it free in a competition. We've been friends ever since. Ever since then, he said, I'm going to be an MHEC coach one day. And he finally took the plunge in February. He works for Skills Development Scotland. So we are now starting to explore the apprenticeship side of things. I'll let you speak about apprenticeships as well, because this is another kind of one of Ben's brainchilds, that when he's thinking about the bigger picture, some of the stuff that we want to do when it comes to our professional development with younger people.
Yeah, so I think we might have referenced it on an earlier episode of this, but now that we're actually edging closer, it's really nice to see it potentially being explored further. So when I first joined the company, again, having no knowledge of the fitness industry, and Dan was telling me all about the award and who it was designed for, what people would be educated on, the benefits that it would bring to people in the health and fitness space. And one of the first things I thought of was why don't we train personal trainers? Like, not just in the award, but actually train people to become personal trainers, whether they're going through a career change or they've just left school, college, whatever, to become a level 3 qualified personal trainer and or a level 2 fitness instructor. So I had this kind of vision before, like, why don't, if we go down that route, why don't we create some form of MHEC apprenticeship where people come to us, they study their level 2, their level 3, and then the award as well, and then anything else that we might come up with too. So, and kind of packaging that together into a modern day apprenticeship, because from a past life in a previous job, I supported an apprenticeship program in the restaurant that I worked in. I'm not going to mention the name of because I get slagged for always talking about them. So having seen the benefit that that brought learners going through that pathway, I thought it would be pretty, not pointing any elbows, I thought that would be a really cool thing for us to develop in time. And now that we've got the academy, now that we're delivering the level 3 gym instructing personal training qualification, then we're that step closer now, and opening up the conversation with Skills Development Scotland hopefully gets us another step closer too.
Yeah, really exciting. This is the stuff that like we love chatting about. We've got a really close mate called Sharif who lives in Dubai. Sharif's love you, Shah. Sharif's background was in bit of digital marketing, and well, he's got his fingers in all the pies now. But Sharif's been one of our biggest fans and advocates since day one. And every time he comes over to Scotland, or every time we jump on a call, I realised that it was this stuff that when I was talking about this is the thing that he was getting really excited about. So he'd love everything. He loved like chatting about the award and, you know, the ins and outs and stuff. But when it came to the wider mission, when it came to the work we're doing in the communities, that was the thing that he always got excited about. And I was like, you know what, that's the thing that like excites me as well. But like I said, we don't chat about this sort of stuff too much on social media because it's very much about, right, you can become a PT, you can become an award, like let us help you do that. Because if we really start to talk about the wider picture all the time, just to be honest, it sometimes then confuses people away from what our initial offering is, which is to become a personal trainer, which is then become an MHEC coach. Then once they're through the doors and they're working with us, then we're like, right, look at this whole world of opportunity out there. Because the lines can sometimes be blurred if we start talking about like community work and, well, what does that mean that person's actual role is. But this is some of the really, really, really cool stuff that we're doing. And this is, again, like I said, this is how we're starting to like impact people within our communities on a deeper basis. And even so, for example, I've touched on Fee, who works with us. Some of the work that she's done out in the communities is amazing. She has delivered talks for an unemployment charity, and since she went in and spoke, a couple of people have been able to go and find employment. And so it's all of these types of things which really kind of fit into the wider picture. One of the last things I'll leave you with when it comes to kind of where we see our real impact happening is, you know, that we made a big song and dance a few weeks ago about our partnership with SimSpa, who is the Chartered Institute of Management for Sport and Physical Activity.
Easy for you to say.
SimSpa. We're in partnership with them now, and SimSpa have just essentially sent out a newsletter this morning. I don't know if you've seen this actually.
No.
I'll show you after this. But essentially sent a newsletter out, and what SimSpa's agenda is for 25-26 is to be able to get in to be able to advise the government, because basically it's law now, it's legal requirement that every local authority, so every council within the country needs to have a skills development plan to be able to help people who are unemployed, but also those who are employed, to further enhance their skills. And one of the things that they recognised from these partners that they needed was educational mental health and exercise. In steps MHEC. So that's why SimSpa wanted to go into partnership with us, because they've got this demand for a course like ours. So that's what SimSpa's kind of role is. They want to get in to be able to advise policy and show the government, the UK government, that they are being able to improve the skills of the local communities. And then that's how we're going to be helping with that as well. So that's kind of another big link that we're kind of just on the precipice of exploring. But our new partnership with SimSpa is really exciting, because we are then going to be able to look at training up these local communities, which is then going to show the demand, which can then even potentially inform policy, which is extremely exciting.
Wow.
A long way away than where we were a few years ago.
Definitely. But
Right.
Everything has been building up to this point.
Yeah. It has. That was good. I like that.
Good.
That was nice. It was a nice.
It's nice to ease back into it after some time off.
Yes. We will do this again next week, maybe.
Yes.
We'll see. We'll see.
We'll see.
Hope you enjoyed. See you later.
Take care.
Bye bye.
Feel like Dr. Evil sat here with a cat. Only it's a dog. I just realised that I compared an addiction recovery centre to a saloon in the Wild West,